Welcome to Cryptotalks Wednesdays. Another episode, another achievement, episode 173. So, this was a very exciting week. I think a lot of things happened globally, a lot of threats that are being thrown this time in an opposite way, not from the regulator, but from the uh, innovation side, from the companies that are working in the space of blockchain and crypto. So we're going to be seeing some of the takes that are thrown away towards the regulator, kind of hinting that they might be going away, especially in the US. So let's welcome Tay. Tay has been traveling. Uh, Hello, Tay. Welcome to Crypto Talks. How was your week? How was travel? Happy Eid for everyone again. I think it was a very good times also on the Eid festivities. I cannot hear you.
تحياتي لك رودي ولجميع المتابعين. Good afternoon everyone. I'm back in The Hague. I visited Lebanon the past 2 weeks. Amazing experience. We'll be back definitely in the short term to Lebanon. There's more things happening there that we will share on the right time. What's the vision of crypto for this country? Week 17 was a very decisive week. Decisive because, of course, it is signaling the the start of a new quarter, but at the same time, we saw some disturbing news from the United States this week. We're gonna talk a little bit more about it during the show.
Exactly. That was a week of regulations or anti-regulations. Very, very important. So don't forget to subscribe and join and share our channel so that we can help us grow. So let's start. Uh, as usual, this is something where we always open in is the matter of fraud. That's a topic I think very dear to us, of how we kind of take it every day, because in this space the fraud is at its best. That doesn't mean the space is full of fraud, but at least it's much easier to operate and do some fraud because it's a fast, quick, uh, without any comebacks. So once the transaction is done, the transaction is done. There's no regulator because there's no middleman trying to control all of this. So make sure not to fall for any platform impersonation, even bad projects, and so many other things, because it is very important for you to watch how you invest and how you protect your assets. And with that, we launched a new article yesterday on our blog about how you can protect your and wallets and how you can protect your investments. So make sure to head to our dxtalks.com blog and how you can keep safe your uh, transactions and your portfolio so that it doesn't fall victim to any sharing this, of course. uh, as you can see the link in the below. It's our dxtalks.com/blog. You can check it. It's the first one. Next, we move to our events and what's happening as of tomorrow. We're proud to be media partner for Consensus 2023, which is an event happening with CoinDesk in Austin, Texas. We're happy to be partners with them. It starts tomorrow, so make sure that if you are in the region or if you went to the region, it's one of the most hyped events in the blockchain business world. So try to attend. We're looking forward for this. We have more partnerships announcement as we mentioned, and there's other events happening in May. Unfortunately, the team removed them, which I sent them. It happens. So I'll hand over to Tay a little bit, and then we'll try to uh, continue as we move. So Tay, the floor is yours as we move. Here we go.
Thank you, Rudy. Again, good afternoon, everyone who's watching on week 17 with Cryptotalks. This week was a very decisive, crucial week from the regulatory perspective. There are certain events that happened in the United States. Um, the crypto industry did not receive it well. We're going to talk about those events in our news update for this week. As we said earlier, week 17 is signaling the new quarter of the year, a new direction for the crypto markets. We saw a rally from the beginning of the year until today. Bitcoin prices in March reached for $30,000, which is a positive note, of course. who uh, who would complain? On the other hand, let's start with the week of this the news of this week. As we are seeing, the first news for this week is coming from the US. Last year we covered a news that said Binance is gonna bail out Voyager, or they're gonna acquire it. Basically, they're gonna acquire it with its debt, with all the bad influence that was happening within this company. The bailout happened simply to protect crypto users, and it was a way for Binance to perhaps acquire or set foot in the US industry through Voyager. We were surprised this week that this deal is no longer happening. And the reason it is no longer happening, they are, or Binance basically is pulling out of the deal, blaming the US regulation. The size of the deal is $1.3 billion. Uh, it was a deal to buy the bankrupt crypto lender Voyager Digital. But Binance is saying the hostile regulatory climate in the United States will deter it from pursuing this exchange or this deal. So there was hope that through this process, Binance will be able to help Voyager customers access their crypto in kind. But because of uncertain regulatory climates in the United States and unpredictable operating environment, uh, which is impacting the whole American business community there, Binance had to withdraw from the deal. This has big repercussions on Voyager, on existing deals that were going and might follow the footsteps of Binance. So I don't think it will be an isolated incident, but we're gonna see more of those deals fall back, especially after the scrutiny from the U.S. regulator. The next news this week, which was positive and gave perhaps the sentiment for more retailers to come into crypto, and we are hearing more and more people they want to own one piece of Bitcoin. So today, Bitcoin is around, I think, 28,700. This was like the past 4 or 5 hours, and it did. There was a drawback in 10% in prices. Yet still, what data is showing us until today is we have around $62 billion on exchanges, which gives us around 2.1 billion Bitcoin. We have 30,000 bitcoins more over the year to date. So we're 1.4% up on a year to date on how many bitcoins there are in total, around 865 million. And there is less 390,000 Bitcoin less than 1 year ago, which is a drawdown in 18%. Uh, it was notable this week that there were many inactive crypto wallets that became active today, or dormant wallets that woke up, and there were some transactions going on wallets that contained 1,000 Bitcoin and did not move since 10 years. Someone just transacted like 30K or 20K on it. So it is raising more and more question marks. But the overall sentiment is more and more people are owning one Bitcoin. So this myth of Bitcoin is controlled by just a few number of people is slowly washing away as more and more decentralization is into the hands of people. On the opposite side of the spectrum of decentralization are centralized companies that are issuing their own tokens, like USDC. USDC is a stable coin pegged to $1 by the means of having dollars in the bank and issuing a token against them. This is what Circle does in the United States. And because of more and more regulation in the United States are coming, not only the Voyager deal is falling down, but as well the Circle or USDC crypto market cap is shrinking as well. Um, the CEO of Circle is blaming the US regulator, but me personally, I would as well blame that they had their money on Silvergate Bank. Silvergate went bust. Over a weekend, people were not able to withdraw their USDC, and consequently, the peg of USDC fell down by more than 30-35%. This was enough of a blow for people to keep on remembering the day that USDC depegged. Unfortunately, events in crypto are transparent. Perhaps it's a fortunate feature, but unfortunately for transparency has a downside, which it makes people not forget certain irregularities, and this is why we will still remember MTGOX and we will still remember USDC depegging. So time will tell if USDC is able to gain the trust of its users back again. Before we finish this news for this week, 2 weeks ago, or 3 weeks ago actually, the founder of Terraform Labs, or Terra Luna, was arrested in Montenegro. He was arrested on his way to Dubai with, if I am not mistaken, either his accountant or his lawyer. Both were arrested, in fact. And today we heard that Daniel Shin, the other co-founder at Terraform Labs, has been indicted by South Korea. They were accused of running a unregulated security scheme worth of $60 billion, and this is the amount that has crashed in Terra Luna. Prosecutors, they froze as well around 246 billion wons, or $185 million. Now, Daniel said, I'm no longer involved with Terra Luna since 2 years before the crash, and he came voluntarily to South Korea to assist in these investigations. And now he is indicted for taking part of Terra Luna scheme and for causing substantial losses for South Korean investors. It is good to know that perhaps the number of victims in South Korea is small, but the size of the transactions are big compared to other countries where, like in Africa, where the number of users is big, but the sizes of the transactions are small. Regardless, fraud should be always like يتحاسبوا عليه. It is not the wild west in crypto as the media projects or portrays, but it's our job as community members to first lead by example and do best practices in this industry to avoid the scammers and to make sure that there's no place for them among us. With this, Rudy, we went through a quick review on the events on last week. Crypto prices, many are asking what's the next direction in crypto or in Bitcoin specifically. In the past 24 hours, we saw a 10% increase in Bitcoin prices. Perhaps the rumors of First Republic Bank as well facing liquidity issues are pushing people to the Bitcoin scenario or the Bitcoin bandwagon. And definitely there is data to look at from the Federal Reserve coming up on Friday. The good and successful upgrade on the Ethereum network is pushing Ethereum to the price levels of $2,000, giving a sign to the naysayers or to the uh, disbelievers in the efficiency of the staking programs of Ethereum that they really unlocked after 3 years and rewarded every validator who has staked 32 Ethereums in the validator node. They got their rewards unlocked. Other than that, BNB is still struggling to break the $400 levels. Cardano stayed more or less on its 0.3, 0.4 levels, but it did make 10% profits from last 24 hours. Polygon as well, Solana, Polkadot, they were from the 10% league, including Ethereum. This was a quick rundown as well, Rudy, and we are back to you.
Indeed, I don't know if you mentioned the news also. It's not just Binance that has problems with the US market. Also, we have the CIO of Binance, and then we have um, uh, Circle CEO.
Coinbase as well, Rudy. They mentioned if this regulatory scrutiny will continue in the United States, they are forced to open shop somewhere else. That's why they acquired their first crypto license out of Bermuda. So the direction of going offshore and following the Tether steps is more and more visible now to companies.
Yeah, last week we showed Gary Gensler being hammered by the investigation. I just want to show a little bit 1 minute section, and then we'll be back because it's really important to put things into perspective of how the US is being affected globally on the financial sector and in crypto.
Ether is one of the most popular digital assets and powers the Ethereum blockchain. Back in 2018, then SEC Corporation Finance Director Bill Hinman stated that he believed Ether was not a security. Last month, CFTC Chair Benham expressed his view that Ether is a commodity. The State Attorney General of New York asserted in a court filing last month that Ether is a security. Clearly, an asset cannot be both a commodity and a security. Do you agree?
Actually, all securities are commodity under the Commodity and Exchange Act. It's that we are excluded commodities. But I would agree that a security cannot be also an excluded commodity and an included commodity. I'm sorry, Chair, just to talk about the Commodity Exchange Act more precisely.
Okay, so do you recognize, how would you categorize Ether then?
Look, I think that the general sweep of what Congress did, not just in the 30s, but as amended.
I'm asking you, sitting in your chair now, to make an assessment under the laws as exist. Is Ether a commodity or a security?
Without speaking to any one.
I know you've repeatedly said you're not going to speak to one, except you've spoken to one, Bitcoin. So I'm asking you to speak to a second one, the second largest market cap here.
And speaking to the tokens, there's 10 to 12,000. if there's a group of entrepreneurs in the
I'm asking
middle
about
that
one.
the public is anticipating a profit based on the...
I'm asking you a specific question, Chair Gensler. I said this in private. This should be no shock to you. I'm asking this question. Is Ether a commodity or a security?
And again, it depends on the facts and the law, and if there's a group of individuals...
I'm asking you about the
in
facts and the
middle.
law sitting in your seat and the judgment you are making.
And so, Mr. Chair, I think you would not want me to prejudge because I'm also...
But you have
aware-
prejudged on this. You've taken 50 enforcement actions. We're finding out as we go, as you file suit, as people get Wells notices on what is a security in your view, in your agency's view. I'm asking you a very simple question about the second largest digital asset. What is your view?
And my view is if there's a group of individuals in the middle that the public is
All
anticipating...
right, so let me just ask a second question then. Do you think it serves the market for an object to be...
I think he was heavily nailed. He couldn't answer a simple yes or no, or because the only thing he were able to answer is 20 plus charges against companies based on no regulations or no actual, anything so that they can be charged. One of them is Binance, and this is where we've seen Coinbase also jumping on this, Circle CEO jumping on this, that the hostility in the US regulations are totally lost. So I think it's very important to put this into perspective and then replay this, because I think it was very important to showcase how the US is currently lost and dealing with this total loss in the world. I think the European, they were slow, but they were able to do it in a better way with Mika. At least now it is somehow defined what is cryptocurrencies, what are tokens, what is the virtual assets, and so many other things. Whereas in the US, which is leading on the front of the economy, I think that's a big attack. GPT protocol, you were mentioning about this. Thank you. And I think also there's a big problem with Binance CZ himself being attacked. So taking the advantage or taking a company in the US on top of what he has is a problem, as in Voyager. He's going to be melted in a lot of more cases. So I think that's a smart move so that he doesn't go in. What's your take on this, Tay?
I mean, Binance has first. I mean, let's imagine Binance is an American company or has an American founder.
Binance US.
Yeah, I mean, although he's Canadian, but they're not portraying him as a Canadian entrepreneur. He's always portrayed by the looks on his face, which is Chinese, and they say, hey, this is Chinese meddling into our business, into American economy, inviting Chinese companies, blah, blah, blah. So this is where it all started wrong from the public perspective. And this public perspective grew into the Congress, grew into all those White House meetings, and it was used against CZ and against Binance in closed discussions with Sam Bankman-Fried, with FTX, and it was a major stabbing in the back for CZ. Now, the US and Gary Gensler, they have been taking a strange position on crypto in general. We all heard the video, we all saw the body language, how his hand was shaking, how he was stuttering. He made a mistake by basically taking sides with Bitcoin, with Ethereum, going against everyone else, the Ripple case, and so on. So now he's stuck in the middle. He cannot back from his words and say Ethereum is a security, because this would destroy the other 60% of the crypto industry. And at the same time, the US is the policeman we follow around the world. So whether it's in finance, in politics, in business, There is always a direction to follow the US steps and US politics. Regulation in with Mika did not fall far from the US, and somehow it was inspired from previous attempts by the United States to regulate the industry. They as well, are trying to strangle an open innovation that can bring money, that can help retain talent inside the country, keep projects here, uh, keep the euro circulating on European exchanges. Now they've given this to the West, or specifically to the East, to the Middle East, and there are other nations, Dubai, UK, Asia, that are posing to be the next crypto kings of uh, of the next 10, 15, or 20
Do you
years.
think at least they did a better part, not a full part, but at
I
least
mean, they
a little bit
definitely did a better part in issuing it, and
clarifications?
yeah, maybe in presenting it, taking a decision on doing it. Uh, but yeah, I mean, comparing US to Europe as well in size and politics and money, it's totally different. Um, but I believe Dubai did a better job than Europe, for example. Oman is doing a better job than Europe. Saudi is doing a better job than Europe. So yes, Mika, I would say Mika is a follower and is not a leader in the industry. And the leader in the industry today is the place where the talent is, because it is not the regulator that will innovate, and it's not the bank that will innovate. It is Rudy, Tay, Elias, Marie, everyone who's on this call. They are the innovators here. They are the issuers of the new protocols, of the new tokens, of new projects. The central bank governor will not put a team to discover how to bring privacy into Ethereum, and the minister of interior will not bring a team and say we want to put checks and balances on transactions, and we want to have whitelisting and blacklisted transactions. All these innovations, measures, and rules, they are first enforced by the community and then enforced by the regulator.
That's the
Law,
beauty of innovation
yes,
and that we are living today.
yes. So long time before Gary Gensler came to say whether Ethereum is a security or a commodity, there were forums, economists, accountants, business people, politicians discussing the same question at even before launching Ethereum as a token. So while people are discussing now, that there are others that are over discussion phase. Now is the phase to build.
Yeah. GPT protocol, it says, I'm afraid if a country like China controls the global financial system since they are authoritarians, in the same time, China and Russia doesn't let the people speak out against their own government. Maybe this is on the innovation side, or I'm
Yeah, it
not
could
sure.
be. I mean, every country, Rudy, has its own, negatives and positives, or has its own way of controlling the people. In the
Yeah, I
United
think that's
States,
why
as well, you
that's
cannot
why the
speak.
Middle East, I think, is doing a great job with everything what's
True,
happening
true,
at the current stage
true.
of the innovation side and also in regulations, because we're in the regulation part now. The technology is there, it's proven, it's something you cannot deny, something you cannot
Absolutely,
shut down.
absolutely, absolutely, absolutely,
Yeah,
absolutely.
we have another question from I just saw it early on. Is there liquidity issue, and did Ethereum dumping of stacked Ethereum, I would say, affect the price?
Did it affect the price? No, because there was no dump that happened. Uh,
Wasn't there release of the stacked Ethereum?
yes, there was a release of the staked Ethereum, and basically people were locking their Ethereum for 3 years, and the date came, which was the Ethereum was unlocked and the rewards were distributed. Now, this is very significant in the history of Ethereum, لأنه it was widely speculated that the next upgrade in Ethereum will lock those tokens for a long time or even forever. And that there is a risk when people are locking 32 Ethereums in a validator node, there is a risk you're taking. It's obvious. فالريورد كانت حلوة إنه this staking contract was unlocked, rewards were distributed. Did people dump? No, it gave more confidence to buy more. And now they're expecting that the next staking programs for Ethereum will be as well oversubscribed and oversold.
Yeah.
So بس هيدا الشيء is a very big question mark as well. Now that Ethereum has moved from proof of work to proof of stake, has Ethereum changed its position from being a commodity that relies on electricity to burn the energy and create a proof of work, a proof of validation that this computer has done the right consensus mechanism to produce a valid ledger, a valid blockchain? This was in the times when Ethereum was proof of work. So there is work, there is commodity. Now it is proof of stake. Now there is no consumption of energy. There is no work being done. Or what users are doing are staking their ethers and voting on the ledger. So this is earning money from the collective behavior of entrepreneurs and or validators. So this should be considered, according to Gary Gensler and the Howey test of securities, that Ethereum should fall under securities. So the way to kill today the ETH advancement, or to stop it, to hinder it, to put barriers in front of it, is raising this threat that you are running a security, we're going to shut you down. But what will happen in this case? Simply the nodes, the developers, the community will relocate to another area where innovation is supported, where open-mindedness is there when it comes to technological advancements like smart contracts, Ethereum virtual machines, and cryptocurrencies.
Thank you, Tay. I think it's very clear what's happening in the market. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share in your community. We are more than appreciated for your support. Don't forget to join Floos on Telegram and support Tay in his startup and in his initiatives. Other than that, Tay, if you have any last words before we close.
No, next week we will be in Lebanon, so looking forward to connect again with the Lebanese community. We had 2 meetups بلبنان that were really nice. We had meetings with the group of lawyers and the group of software developers as well. I forgot the names of the cities. واحد منهم كان بالدكواني, and the other one was at BDD, Beirut Digital District. So looking forward to meet you next week. And someone today shared with me something nice where you can order your coffee and pay with USDT or pay with crypto. It's a coffee shop in Sindelfield.
Yeah, things are changing.
Yeah.
Same thing, and I'll be in Dubai on the 7th, so do join us. We have a lot of events happening on the 7th, on the 8th, on 9th, and 10 and 11. I'll be speaking on a couple of events. I'll be promoting them next week. We'll show you more what's happening in the region. So I guess our region is being susceptible more and more in the space of crypto, blockchain projects, and so many other things. For that, I'd like to thank everybody that joined. For the newcomers, don't forget to like us, subscribe, so you get notified next week of our events. We're weekly in the same time. Episode 173. Thank you, Tay. See you next week.
Thank you. Bye-bye.